Okay, we are ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CSGB Season 3 pre-season. As I send the link in to the chat for this second pre-season race round Netherlands Zandvoort circuit. Very sharp, very quick. I'm looking forward to this bit of action today after our first pre-season race yesterday. Took place around the Brazil circuit. But now it's time for one of the new circuits, one that was unfortunately not able to be used during these times due to obviously ongoing things within the world. So here we are then, Netherlands. It's time for some drivers to take part after missing out on yesterday's race. This fast 13 corner track is about to give us our second interval, our second stage of a pre-season for Season 3. I'll run you through the names on the grid in just a second as we get it. And here we go then, a nice bright sunshiny day in the Netherlands, which is good to see. We have 17 drivers on track, and I'm fully expecting a very close and very competitive grid for today's race. So here we go then. We have Noah Jones, Rainman Netsky, last year's Formula 1 champion. Bradley Lloyd, Pro Mayhem Bowers, last year's F2 champion. Adam Geck, James Dovey, Carwin, Kazakhs, Gamer, Arbuck, JD, Hindle, Eklund, YOLO and Jay Prentice. Some people who also took part last night here with us today, so that's very good to see. And we will put on the fast lap and we'll go from there. So, who is out first? We have a Mercedes. It is Carwin, yesterday's race winner around Brazil, around the Interlagos circuit, is now bringing us round for the first time the Netherlands circuit as we come through to start his lap. I'm expecting a lap time between 108 and 109 to be the pole time around here. Netsky is my favourite. I believe he may just about squeeze off to the competition and continue his fine form where he picked up last season. Carwin's out first, nice and early, so we're right on board with him as he banks turn 13, the new banking circuit, banking corner, something that's very different to any other circuits. And now he's going to fire it down the Tunnel West straight, and into turn 1 he comes, braking nice and late, as close to that 50 board as you can, and keep it tight to the inside, which he does perfectly. Here he comes in into the first banked section of the track. A long left-hander and up the hill, running up towards turn 4, turn 5 and turn 6. You can cut this corner a little bit, you've got to be too careful there, but you've got to keep it, the revs up. He does, he changes down a little bit wide in the exit, but he keeps the car there. You've got to flick it over this right-hand corner. Of course he's gone purple, first man out. Keeps it nice and tight to this inside line. Got to get a good exit, but be careful not to drop the car around. And he flings it back down into the left-hand side corner. Keeps it nice with the DRS straight. Now approaching him, he opens up his DRS and approaches the Audi S section of the track. Clips that nice and tight. Gets the rotation round for a nice exit into the final few corners. Now then he comes up to turn 12 and turn 13, the second bank part of the circuit. Keeps it valid, nicely done. He's going to come to the line. What time is it going to be for the first run of the Mercedes? Keeps it tight, the fastest line to the track. And he does a 109.4, so my expectations were correct, as we now have a Eklund in the Alfa Romeo coming through on the medium tyres and does a 109.8, and Bradley joins in behind his teammate, not too far behind, and puts a 109.9, and now we have some more people coming through, and we have Kazakhs going into second place, and James puts himself in third with Eklund just behind, and there's Netsky putting it straight on pole, continuing his fine form from last season. A 108.7 from him, exactly what I expected. We know a Ferrari coming to the line. It is Bowers, and Bowers is going to put in a 109.9, and his teammate Noah has gone into P3 with a 109.5. We have a racing point coming to the line. It was Hindle only managing a 1.10. And we now have Rain Man on a flying lap, so we'll stay on board with him as we can see the most of his lap. I'll keep an eye on the scoring boards as we go along, but we'll stay on board here as he comes around the first X section. Most drivers, I believe, we have a car spinning. There's a Mercedes getting out of the way, I hope. Just have a look at the tyres selected. We have 2 drivers on the medium tyres and everyone else opting for the softs, as we see Rain Man himself go purple in sector 2. Now it's a tricky section. Find the right traction zones. And he does, he opens it out wide nicely for the second DRS section of the track. Will he clip the inside curb? No, he misses it altogether, but he stays nice and close to this curb. And can he get the exit? You see Pro Mayhem also joining Hindle in the 110s. I see CSGB Rain Man invalidates on the second to last corner and will go for another run. Who is behind? Anyone else on the lap? Eklund, is he on the lap? He is, he's gone purple. Another run on the medium tyres. He's going purple on the medium, so that's a very good sign for him. Clearly showing he's got the pace, and with it only being a 25% race, he can surely start on the mediums and finish on the softs, hoping there's no safety cars. But here he comes then. Purple, sector 2. So it says looking purple, purple on the medium tyres, so maybe that is a very good strategy. Here comes Eklund to the line and keep it valid. Yes, he does. Now he's got to take the tightest line he can down the inside. He's clearly up on his time. The time he's going to put in is a 109.6, so improves by just under 2 tenths and puts himself in 6th position. We have a Red Bull of McGamer flying on into his out lap. And he's about to start his lap now. So we'll stay on board with the Red Bull driver. One of 5 drivers not to set a lap so far. Jay Prentice still in the pits, as is Arbach and Adam. Well, they're on their out laps now, but here we go then. On board with McGamer, looking nice and sturdy through the first sector. Coming up now to the tricky turn 6, the long right-hander. It's quite easy to drop it, but he keeps it nice and stable. And he keeps it purple. Cuts this down, a little bit of understeer there, but he keeps it a wide exit, which means he will be able to flick it back into this next corner, which he does. There is a car in front of him, but that gets out of the way nicely. It's Netsky, who we will jump on board with afterwards, but it seems to go purple again. A lot of purple sectors coming out from the drivers so far. As we now come up to turn 12, which sets you perfectly up for turn 13, which he keeps valid. Very easy to invalid on that part of the circuit now. He comes to the line. What time would the Red Bull driver put in? It is a 109.8, which is good enough for 7th position. And I believe I saw Netsky on a out lap, and there he is beginning his lap. So McGamer's in his way, and he's not going to get out of the way. And that means McGamer's gone into the wall. Hope that hasn't impeded Netsky too much. Didn't seem to pull the throttle. Didn't seem like he did, but as Bradley retires, so that's a shame for him. 11th place is the best he can manage. Netsky's only 8 thousandths down his time, which I think he should be able to claw back. Stay on board with him. There hasn't been too many chopping changings in the order so far, as Netsky takes all the curb there, and there is Bradley's car. You can see just despawn there. But there's another purple sector for Netsky, and he's looking to improve his time here. As the yellow flags flash, Netsky doesn't care. He's concentrating is the next corner, the next apex. As the Renault of Arbach gets out the way, Netsky's bringing it to the line now. Will he improve? I think he might do. Puts in a 108.6. An absolute blitz is the field at the moment. Improves by 2 tenths. Another fantastic lap by Netsky, but one you would expect from your F1 champion from last season. Wasn't just a champion, he was a man on a mission. Here we have the James Duffy on the track, and I went to him at the wrong time there. 1.3 seconds down anyway, so he's not going to improve. Have you got Kazakhs on the lap? I think we do. So we have the Williams coming to the line, followed by McLaren. Is he going to go to the line, or will he pull into the pit lane? He's going to the line and sets a 108.8, which puts him into second place. So a massive improvement there for him, for Kazakhs. As Prentice pulls into the pit lane, and so does the McLaren teammate, so they'll be stacking. We have a Red Bull coming round the last corner. Is that James Dovey? Yes, but he opts to pit as well. We have Ekeland, who's about to start a lap, followed by Yolo in the Haas, who is on the lap, so we'll stay on board with him. As you can see, 3.7 tenths up. So he will be improving, putting himself probably in 6th position, 6th or 7th position. And he does put himself indeed in 7th. And that's a nice lap from him. Only a couple of people touching the 108s. I thought there might be a couple more, but we've still got 8 minutes left of the session. As we have a Hindle coming around the final corner, but straight into the pit lane as well. And there's the Ferrari of Bowers, who is now on a lap as well. There we go then. Is he up? He looks to be up. This looks to be a much improved time. Will it be improved at all? By 1.8 tenths, which puts him up a couple of positions. And Bowers, F2 champion from last season, now in F1, takes 8th position. We have a couple of cars now coming through the sponsored corners. I'll talk you through these, but as you can see, our chain of Declan, he's gone purple, so he may be improving. As he comes around turn 13, the big bank section onto the Tunnel West Straight here at Zandvoort Circuit, and he puts himself 5 tenths improvement and puts himself into the second row of the grid, and that's P3 for Ekeland. As CSGB Rayman bursts behind him, pops into 4th position with a 109.3. The lap times are just improving all the way. As JD is about to start a lap, so we'll stay on board with JD as he comes round turn 1. Takes a lot of curb there, which may have unsettled the car. But Carwin, I believe, has just crossed the line and put himself in P4. So a very nice lap from him, and showing a lot of pace across yesterday and today so far. JD bringing us now through the Marlborough corner, around turn 8, which is the Renault turn, and into turn 9, which is the Vodafone turn. So a lot of sponsors around these corners. But let's see if he improves as he comes up to the Sector 2 split line very shortly. And there he is, very slight improvement for the Williams driver. The red hot brakes are glowing. And here he comes then, up to turn 12. Can he set himself? Can he keep it valid? He takes a lot of curb again, and he runs wide, but must have just dipped a wheel inside as he comes to the line. Will he have an improvement? Will he get himself into the top 10? Well, that is the slimmest of improvements you could possibly ask for. He doesn't improve a position, but he improves his time very, very so slightly. Have we got anyone on that? We have Carwin, I think, coming back into the pit lane. And we have the Red Bull of James, no, McGamer. There he is, puts himself in 7th position, so he has improved by 3 tenths. And here comes Dovey, banking the last corner onto the straight to put his car a 3 tenths improvement and into 4th place. There's a lot of choppy and changing around the 4th place position with 5 minutes left in the session. We only have one driver left to put a lap in, and that's Arbuk in the Renault, who is on a lap. His ERS is telling me he is, but Netsky's trying to get past him, and is Netsky on a lap there? So I think Netsky's been blocked again, so I don't think he's going to be too happy about that, and I think he might go into the pit lane. No, he's not. He's going straight to the line. He's still up and improves again to a 108.3. It's a 2.5 tenths improvement, and he was slightly blocked there. So Netsky showing his pace and showing an absolute brilliant turn of pace. As a 9 tenths improvement there for Hindle as he slots his car into 6th position. Lloyd said his car unghosted and I got into it. So yeah, there's a ghosting glitch happening there, which happened yesterday as well. As we have both Red Bulls coming around the final corner, but I believe they're both on in-laps. And behind them is the McLaren of Jay Prentice, who is on a lap, but he's not going to improve that lap time, so he may be going back in the pits to put a new set of tyres on And following him round is the Mercedes of Adam, who's 18 seconds off the pace. So unfortunately for him, he is also returning to the pits. And it's time for the Ferrari boys to see what they can do. Bo is on the outlap. Noah also on the outlap. So it's going to be a Ferrari. Couple of laps now. It's a Renault and a AlphaTauri fighting. I believe they're both in laps. No, the Renault of Arbuck finally puts in a lap of a 1:13.5. But that's not good enough to get him out of the last position on the grid. Bo is now looking for a significant improvement in his time to try and get himself up the grid. He wants to get into the low 109s, high 108s if he can, so he needs to do a dramatic improvement. But the first sector is only slightly improved for Boas. And as he comes up now to the Vodafone corner and up to the DRS straight, he's going to be looking to improve as well as he can and get a good exit over the Audi S. This one here takes a lot of curb, a little bit deep, but that means he can get a better exit. He takes the curb very nicely indeed. Turn 12, he keeps tight, good rotation, which means good exit. That's only going to improve his time. And here he comes then to the line. Boas looking to get out of the bottom 10, and he doesn't, but he does improve. So he's just behind his teammate Noah, as Noah behind him puts in a even better lap and goes 8th place. So Rayman from a minute or so ago has gone from 4th position down to 9th. So it's showing that the track is just getting quicker and quicker, and that's what you really expect. As YOLO now is banking, but he has pulled out of the lap, so he may be going back in or out or recharging his battery to go again. And as you can see, he is going into the pit lane. I believe Carwin may be the first car on an outlap, so we'll stay on board with him. He showed his pace over the last couple of days. I'm sure he's looking to improve again. Approaching turn 1, braking just before the 50 mark, keeping it nice and tight to the apex to get a good exit using the curb. And it's a tricky section to the first banking corner, making sure not to lock up, and he does very well on the gears, and it's looking like a very nice start to this lap from Carwin. Carwin looking to clip this corner, which he does. Opts for 8th gear now, so should change that to 7th, which he does, and early on the throttle. Try and flick it over this inside. A very, very slight improvement, but there's a lot more time to pick up around these corners. And it seems to be going quite nicely for him at the moment, as he now comes around this bend into the DRS range. A corner where it is going to look like it's going to be a lot of overtaking, as I see Bo is retired, but that is in the pit lane, so he has pulled out of his lap. And Carwin, we've got split time, but I think I missed it. Pro Mayhem has also retired. So some drivers now giving up on their laps and just calling it a day there. Here comes Carwin to the line. Will he improve? He does by 2 tenths and 6 to Carl on 3rd position. The 3rd driver in the 108s. And that's a fantastic lap from Carwin. Leaving it late, but leaving it great. As is this Netsky on a lap. Netsky is on a lap. Not very much of a improvement at the moment. We'll keep on board with him though to see if he can improve on that extremely good lap time. But as you can see, 700ths down at the moment. Coming into the final few corners. That could be made up in the blink of an eye though. Keeps it nice and wide on the exit. Just enough to give him a good run onto the back straight. And he improves yet again by 700ths of a second. And Netsky is 6 tenths clear of the rest of the field. We have a Racing Point coming around the final corner. He is invalidated, so we'll jump on board with the Red Bull of James Dovey, who's coming around the final corner now. 2 tenths improvement, so he's looking to go into the 108s. Will he join the 4 drivers ahead of him? Yes, he will. He won't only just join them, he will overtake Carwin and take 4th position, joining Kazakhs on the 2nd row of the grid. Did Ekelund just set a lap? Yes, he did. I'm sorry I missed that. I believe he went into 2nd position. As we now have the 2 Mercedes banking the final corner, but this is an in-lap from Carwin. And Adam is on a lap. Nope, he crossed the line and doesn't improve. Anyone else on a lap? No, 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 no. JD. What's JD doing? He's 1/10 down. And he's going to the pit lane. So that is it for qualifying round this Netherlands circuit. And it is, as you expect, Netski still out on top. And, well, James Dovey has surprised himself there. He's done a fantastic lap into the 108s. The F2 runner-up from last season has put himself in 4th position and put himself right amongst some of those F1 drivers at the top of the grid. So he's showing his pace, really, and he's doing very well indeed. But that is it. JD just needs to retire, as does Rainman. And there you go. We are ready for the race. And here we go then. The two Swedish men on first and second, the front row, lockout by Netski and Eklund. Kazakhs following up behind, just behind Eklund and James Dovey, even closer behind them. Carwin also in the 108s, and into the 109 drivers we have Yolo Hindle, Noah Jones, Rainman, McGamer, Bowers, Prentice, Adam, JD, Bradley, Pro Mayhem, and bringing up the back of the grid with a 5-second penalty was Arbuck. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but you know, at least it's a pre-season race, and at least there's more time to put things right. Now, we do have a new fuel system for this league, and that is that they have to have a maximum fuel kilogram loadout of 27.5 kilograms, I think. So, therefore, the drivers will need to take their times to set their setups up correctly and hopefully not trigger any penalties. But as it's a pre-season race, it is understandable that these things may happen. But now it's time to get ready for the race and get ready for some good action. This track is very tight, very hard to overtake on, but I'm sure some drivers will give it a go. And as you can see, the sun is out and the blue skies are here, which means it looks like it's going to be a dry race. My personal expectations for this race are for Netski to pull away from the rest of the field, but I could be mistaken. Netski has made a few mistakes in the past, and any pressure or any incidents with those drivers behind him, then maybe he can be undone. And getting past drivers on this track can be very hard. It's very effective if you are a very good defender of your position. You will be able to keep your position around this track. But here we go then, the formation lap starting. I will get the correct things here for you all. We will put on the tyre and the interval. And Bo is opting to go onto the medium tyres, and Bradley from the start, everyone else taking the soft tyres. As this is a pre-season race, it is only a 25% distance, whereas normally we'll be racing a 50% distance, followed by a sprint race, 25% distance during the league race. But some of the key overtaking corners on this track, well, this clearly isn't one of them. This is a long, fast right-hander. The turn 6 and 7. But maybe down the inside of this corner, into turn 8, we may see a couple of moves happen here. The track widens, but then quickly tightens, and you need to take a tight line to get a good exit. But this corner here that Netski is about to take us round may be the most important, as this is the first DRS zone after the main straight. And if you get a good run down the inside, you can definitely take a position here. But if you want to be patient, you're able to get them on the start-finish straight as Netski mounds round turn 11 to bring the cars up to the grid. As you can see, they're wobbling side to side to warm those tyres up. As we scroll through the grid, everyone seems to be behaving themselves. We don't have any ghosts, and as I say that, 3 drivers have been disqualified. I don't know what's happened here. Okay, interesting. Has someone crashed? Very interesting from Mayhem there. So that is just a bit of entertainment. His tyres are going to absolutely love that for the start of the race. But like I say, it's pre-season. Let the drivers get mistakes out of their systems and get a couple of laps under their belt. 18 to be precise. Here we go then. The cars are ready now on the line as you see the Renault pulling up, the McLaren pulling up to the back of the grid. The lights don't start normally. Here we go then. We have cars revving their engines. And the lights go out, and they do start. So here we go then into turn 1. We'll try and find a better camera angle than this, but it's Eklund down the inside of Netsky, and Netsky has lost his first place position, and the Williams is giving him a fight, and that's Kazakhs. Will he push him round the inside? No, Netsky holds on well, and that is Eklund up into P1, so Netsky has been undone and drops back to P2, and the Williams of Kazakhs is still hungry for that position. James Duffy seems to be kept hold of 4th position, but Kazakhs looking to fight back at Netsky. But unfortunately at the moment he can't, but everyone seems to get away cleanly, bar Arbach, who is stuck at the back of the grid. And we do have a virtual safety car, and Arbach has retired. So I'm not sure if that was any fault of anyone else's, or whether that is off his own decision. But unless he hasn't crashed, he has retired on track. So that has called a virtual safety car. Luckily not a full safety car, and these drivers will be going again. But the key move there was that Eklund got off the line quickest and got past Netsky, and that's going to be Netsky looking to hunt down his Swedish friend for his first position. Virtual safety car should be ending any minute. Do we have any chopping changes up and down the field? Not particularly. Pro Mayhem has gone up 3 positions, as you can see, from P16. But here we go, and Kazakhs opting to go into the pit lane early on. And here we have Kazakhs and Netsky side by side, but we've now got a glitch and I can't find him. And Kazakhs has got the job done. No, he hasn't. Netsky's fired back around the outside of him and keeps first position. The timing screens are all over the place, so it's hard to keep up. We do have more yellow flags, but it's due to the pit lane, and that is due to Eklund retiring. Eklund has retired from the race. Interesting. I don't know why this has happened, but he had a very good start and has seemingly retired from the race, so we don't have him, and now the order finds itself out, and Netsky returns back to his first position, and unfortunately for Eklund, he has left the race. Not entirely sure why, but maybe we'll get an explanation at some point. But back as you cycle through the field, there is a big gap between 4th and 5th position, and it's no there's not, between, what is this 1 second gap? It doesn't exist. Okay, the timing screens are bugged, so this is very helpful for me. Hopefully they fix themselves once they cross the line. But I'll scroll through the field to see if there's any action going on. Boa seems to be struggling on the medium tyres as Jay Prentice has pulled away from him with a big gap. And there's no real moves happening just yet. So we'll stay on board as the timing screens have now fixed themselves. And James Duffy has got himself up into 3rd position and got past Carwin at some point during that last lap. Netsky out in front, the Kazakhs not too far behind, still within DRS range, and a couple of laps into this race, the field has been spread out slightly, but we do have 2 medium runners starting lower down the grid. We do have some big distances here as Rainman is looking to get onto the back of YOLO in the Haas. This is our closest battle at the moment, as DRS will be enabled at the end of this lap. The driver's hoping to make some tight moves around these corners and looking not to make any mistakes at all. As we see a Red Bull driver, that's James Duffy. Why am I cursing people today? James Duffy has binned it and lost 4 positions there and drops to 7th place as the Ferrari of Noah Jones is looking to go round the outside. Does James have damage? I can't see at the moment. Doesn't look like he has. He's just made a mistake and he's lost another position. Noah Jones gets him done due to the DRS's help. James has dropped down just in front of his teammate as Adam has also got past Bradley, but Bradley's and chopping and chaining at the back here. It's very tight. Bradley making those mediums work for him Adam using his as he locks up. His tyre at the back. Donovan should making a move, but as you can see, the top two have just checked out at the front of the race. And to be honest, they're already coming on the back of these. Are they? No, they're not. That's me. I'm blind. Don't worry about it. As the Red Bull boys are now looking to fight one another. McGame are looking up the inside of James Dovey. That mistake must have unsettled him. As these three are very close, is James Dovey going to look to make the move back on Noah? Noah does not have DRS on the car in front of him, but seems to be getting a better exit. And here we go then, as James is now going to pull into pit lane and go for the medium tyres, so he's into the pits, loses more positions, but he will be making them up. Kazakhs is not too far behind Netsky. Netsky hasn't been able to clear off him yet. These two can just stay with each other now and use each other to pull away on the DRS and pull away from the rest of the field. We have Carwin holding third position as Hindle looks up behind him. Thank you very much, Eklund, for the comment. What happened, Eklund, if you've got any explanation for that? I'm highly confused. As we now have Hindle pressuring Carwin all over the back of the Mercedes, in the pink Mercedes. And Yolo and Rainman not too far behind themselves as we see the McLarens getting close. Pro Mayhem is trying to make a move on Jay Prentice. Jay Prentice is holding him off, but will not have DRS down this straight, and Pro Mayhem has seemingly got the better exit out of this turn. Turn 13, Prentice is pitting now, so the McLaren boy is not going to double stack, and it seems that Mayhem has used a lot of his ERS to try and close in the gap there, which he has done. But Gamer has picked himself up a penalty though. Let me just see what that's for. So it's a 3-second penalty, which is corner cutting. Oh, okay, fair enough, Eklund. That is understandable. Well, you had a very good start, mate. You did very well. So it's unfortunate that you could use that tonight, but yeah, get yourself ready for the start of the season. And you clearly just scared him a little bit, ruffled his feathers, as Jay Prentice has now come to pit lane on the medium tyres, as is James Dovey, but the gap between those two is absolutely enormous. 10 seconds. The gap's really starting to open up now. The closest one we've got is 0.7 seconds. So it is not too tight at the moment. But the front two are still within DRS range of each other. Will these two be able to get within each other's DRS range? And you can see there, Netsky clearly feeling some pressure, wanting to get away with the ERS down at single figures. And he's locking up as well, which is only letting Kazakhs in. So it may be a battle of the pit stops here. 7 laps in as Noah Jones and McGame both opt to pit. Boas on the medium tyres will enjoy that as he will look to go long. So there's been no safety car will be helping out those medium tyre runners. Right, there is not much congestion and not much dirty air at the moment, but Hindle and Carwin are getting even closer to each other as the DRS range approaches as they go round the Renault corner. Who will get the better exit? Will Hindle be able to put up much of a fight, and will Carwin, who's got less ERS at the moment, he doesn't opt to use it now, neither does Hindle, but will he look to get him down the main straight? We'll stay on board with this. Carwin takes the curb. Will either of these racers pit this lap as Yolo now is climbing onto the back of these pair, so these two clearly slowing each other down as Carwin clips the grass there, and that may have unsettled Hindle's entry into that turn. But here we go then, DRS will be open. They both opt to pit as a late move from Carwin, and all 3 of these drivers pit, and oh, that's not good from Yolo. He has wing damage. He did not brake in time and hit the back of the Racing Point driver, and that is a bit of wing damage for him. So will Yolo be changing his wing? That is the question. He's dropping down, and you know what? I think he has changed his wing, so he has got himself in a bit of trouble there. Very desperate to get the pits. He didn't get a pit lane speeding though, so maybe he timed it just right. As you can see, Carwin picking up a bit of damage, and Netsky is currently 14 seconds, well nearly 15 seconds in the lead. I fully expect him to pit this lap. And Kazakhs, who is on the medium tyres, is only around 16, 17 seconds behind. I'm not entirely sure the length of a pit stop here. But as we see, McGamer getting very close to the back of YOLO. And will they make a move now? Both on the same age of tyres. YOLO, Kazakhs has passed Bowers on those new tyres, which I missed. I do apologise for that. Sorry about that. We have a very close train here. This may be interesting going to turn 1. We'll on board with Carwin as he looks to get past JD. I imagine JD's going to pit this lap. Jespoli screaming down his headphones, and he does, as does Adam in front of them. So, Carwin going looking to the inside of Hindle, not close enough to make a move. And he wants to get past him and try and pull away with that penalty. As currently we have our front 2 people yet left the pit of Bowers and Bradley. The only 2 that starts on mediums currently running in 3rd and 4th position. A safety car for them now would be absolutely amazing and exactly what they wanted. Kazakhs still within DRS range of Netsky. Netsky, having pitted a lap later, still remains slightly down on his time. I don't know what that lag was there. Will we have any close moves happening? Kazakhs setting purple sectors as I speak. There will not be a move into this corner. I do not think he's going to be close enough, but will there be any moves further back? Will Carwin get past Hindle eventually? He was close last time. We have a sector 2 yellow flag. That is Adam Geck, who has spun round. Maybe a tussle with JD, but I don't believe that's going to bring out any safety car or VSC. No, it won't. And Carwin has used all his ERS. He's looking to go round the outside of Hindle. Hindle pushes him wide, keeps the position nice and parked on the inside curb. He gave him enough room there, and that is good defending from Hindle. But like I said at the start of the race, this is what you fully expect around this track. If you are good at defending, if you can park your car on the apex, it's going to be very difficult for any car to get past, and that has just been proven there by Carwin and Hindle's little duel. And Kazakhs has made a mistake, I'm sure of it, because Netsky has pulled away by 2.4 seconds. So unless that was making a move or a little twitch of the steering wheel, but he has been handed a slight deprivation there and falls down the order. Not falls down the order, but falls further off the back of Netsky, and that's exactly what Netsky would have wanted. But these lot fighting again, and Rainman now starting to sniff the back of Carwin. Not quite in DRS range, but what he will want here is for the racing point of Hindle to hold up Carwin again, going into this turn number 1, which was pretty on the back. But James Duffy's getting hungry and fancies a bit of Rainman and says, I'm going to race you. But as you see, Hindle swinging straight across the right to break the toe as Bradley goes into the pit lane and pits. So it's only Bowers now left to pit. Bradley onto the soft tyres. Where will he come out? We will check. Bradley is going to come out in 12th position, not too far behind some of the medium runners, so maybe he will have a good chance of catching his drivers. Carwin is still behind Hindle though, but they them two have gained positions due to the pitting, and they will get another one when Bowers chooses to pit. And Kazakhs is now 5 seconds off Netsky, so Netsky's clearly put his foot down, and Bowers is now up right behind him, catching up to the Williams driver, but obviously Bowers will have to pit at some point in this race. Things are still getting interesting between this pair, so we'll stay on board again. Only 4 tenths this time, so it's all about this final sector. Who can get a better exit onto the corner? And it looks like Carwin's closed the gap. Only 4 tenths the gap now. 22% ERS compared to 12 that's already been used as Netsky sets the fastest lap, so he clearly wasn't hanging around. Hindle breaks the toe. Here we go, and Will Carwin going the outside. He's not going to be close enough again. And Hindle, oh, it's going to go late switch back. He's a little bit of contact. Carwin left it a little bit too late, but I rate the effort. I just hope that's not wing damage for the Mercedes driver, and no, it doesn't seem to be. As Bowers now is in the pit lane and comes out in the 10th position. Will Noah take that position? No, he won't. So his Ferrari teammate has got the strategy working for him, and now will only just go up the order with those softer tyres. Jay Prentice down in 13th position, having a little bit of a struggle in this race, as is JD and Adam. But, you know, pre-season, there's still plenty of time left to get things right before next week. And these two even closer this time around, both on the back, exactly the same amount of ERS. Carwin just putting Hindle under pressure. This is great racing from these pair. Will Carwin get the move done? I'm waiting for it. Hindle gets a better exit there. The battle for third position is heating up, but Rainman himself hasn't been able to close the gap with these two fighting. Here we go then. Carwin is not using his ERS. He is using it. Hindle is not. Will he go for the move on the outside this time? They bang wheels. Will he get the switchback done? No, he won't. And Hindle protects his position again and cuts across the driver, but he had to get across to the racing line. And Hindle, for another lap, holds on tightly as James is putting Rainman under pressure, but still, like the pair in front of them, cannot get the move done. Carwin still breathing down the neck. Netsky is just checking out. He is having a great time out the front of this race. He is a joy to watch when he's on this kind of form. He will hit every single apex, he will clip every single racing line, and will not lose any time on any lap at all. So, very nice stuff from him. He's doing what he is known for, what he's been doing for the last couple of seasons. And these two still not close up the amount of move, still again on the same amount of ERS. Will there be a move done this time? As they come up to turn 12, into the banking of turn 13, and down the Tunnel West straight to bring it into turn 1. DRS open. No ERS this time. Hindle breaks the toe again. Carwin opts not to use it, and again, just not close enough to make a move. If I was Carwin, I would save up my ERS, just a couple more laps. Moving into the final 4 laps now as Bowers makes another move and gains another position round the outside of turn 1. A fantastic move using the optimal grip of those soft tyres, and moves up into P8 and will fancy that McLaren in front of him and say, I want that P7. But I can't see him getting any more positions than that, as there is a 5-second gap between the two, as we see Rainman jittering all over the place and needs to even closer than before. Hindle still just parking his car in the right positions of every corner. Frustrating Carwin, I imagine. Carwin just wants to get that job done. He wants to pull away. But look, he's not only just, he's now under a second behind, which means Rainman's going to get involved. I knew this would happen at some point, and it's happening with 3 laps to go. Hindle, can he hold off again? 3 attempts to gap this time, so there's going to be a 4-man DRS train behind, all the way back to James. All these drivers are going to have DRS on each other. Carwin now mounting an attack. Hindle moves across. He's run out of DRS halfway down the straight, but he's closer than before. Will he be able to brake late? I've banged wheels again. And guess what? The same outcome. It's happened 3 times in a row. He's got to brake later than that, Carwin, if he wants to get round the outside, but Hindle's not giving him any time at all, and he's parked his car in the correct position every single time. And as all this is happening, these two behind are only gaining. Oh, Len's coming outside Carwin of turn 6. It's going to be tight. Will he get his move done? It's going to be enthralling, and it's bashing of wheels again. They're side by side, and he takes the position in the most unexpected corner of the track. So I said that they may take it around this corner they're going around now. Carwin has given up after 3 laps. He's like, I'm having that position back. He's going to try and get away now. What a fantastic move. Great racing from the pair of them. Didn't end in tears, and Carwin takes the position. He's up for a race yesterday, and he's definitely up for this race again, but he has got the penalty, which is unfortunate for him. And now it's only going to allow Hindle, who has more ERS, to try and fight back again. Rainman wants a piece of the action, so does James. Bowers still can't get past Mayhem behind him, but these lot all fighting all over each other. With 3 laps to go, Hindle's going to want that position back, the Finnish driver. But the front 2 have also checked out, and look how clear they are. Netsky in a league of his own. Kazac's also in a league of his own. But this is the real action right behind the front 2. The final fight for P3. And we'll stay on board with this, because it's absolutely great racing from a lot of them. It's about who's can bide their time, who's got the most ERS here. It is Rainman by quite a way. So maybe he's waiting for a mistake. Maybe he's waiting to pounce to take 3rd position, as Bowers is clawing in the McLaren in front of him. No moves here. No heroics just yet. Carwin is slowly starting to pull away from Hindle. He's a lot further ahead than Hindle was of him a couple of laps previous. So 6/10. So that means Rainman is the closest man at the moment. But as they're about to start the second to last lap of the Grand Prix, Netsky still leads from Kazakhs from Carwin. Carwin again has that penalty, and that's just going to allow Hindle. He doesn't need to overtake him if he wants to position, but they're so close, these three. It's terrific stuff. Coming around the looped section, the bank section, up the hill, and up to Shivlak turn 6. It's quite easy to lose a lot of grip if you throw it in too hard, but none of the drivers making that mistake yet. I believe Arbuk may have done. James Dovey just not been able to get past. We'll just flick back to Boas to see if he can make a move on Pro Mayhem here. No, he can't, not quite. It's Rainman running wide. Carwin not running away from Hindle. We have a yellow flag, and that may be the retirement of Adam in the pit lane. But we have a Red Bull that's gone round. Is it James Duffy? No, it's McGamer. McGamer has spun the car, which allowed Jay Prentice an extra position. So that's unfortunate to see for him. But does not cause any safety car, anything like that, because we are on the last lap of the race. And no move has been made into this corner. Has anything happened behind? No, it hasn't. So James Dubby just dropping back even further on his older tyres. Will there be any moves made by Hindle? Will they make it interesting? Because there's nothing happening in front. Bo is still behind Pro Mayhem, so the alternative strategy has not worked for him. Carwin just pulling away ever so slightly. Got his fuel light flashing. So does CSGB Rainman. Hindle just not getting close enough, and neither is Rainman. We're going to see Bo is here. Is he going to make a move? No, he's not. But I will jump on board with Netsky coming round the final corner. And just like last season, he's won yet another race. The Swedish man takes P1. A fantastic drive for him. Kazakhs, his fellow Swede, is going to come up and take P2. But this is the battle now for third position. What's happened? Carwin has going to take P3 on the track. Takes on the track, but Hindle takes third. CSGB Rainman takes fourth. James Dovey takes fifth. Carwin's penalty has put him all the way down to sixth position. And Pro Mayhem is followed across the line by Boas, and YOLO will bring up into... Oh, he's dropped down a few positions. Bradley has gone up to P10. Prentice to P11. YOLO's dropped down to 12. JD in 30. McGamer, he'll come round the final corner in P14. And Adam will bring up the end of... Oh, actually, no, they're not finished yet, so I'm just absolutely... Are they finished? Oh, they've been lapped. Have they been lapped? I don't know what's going on. Well, there you are. Enjoy this. McGamer's giving us some donuts. Well, he's given up. And we'll put his car across the line. P14. And that is it for today's pre-season race. The last race before the season starts. The season opener around Bahrain. Our own version of the Sakir Grand Prix. A 100%er on the Bahrain short circuit on this game, followed by a 25% sprint race. We're opening with F1 on Monday, I believe. So, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Netsky takes to the win. What did we really expect from Pole to win? Eklund may have given him a run for his money, but he left on lap 1 as he had other commitments. Mayhem takes driver of the day in McLaren. I'll run you through the final order and then I will say goodbye. It's been a fantastic race here around Zandvoort. It's a shame it cannot be raced in the real life F1. But there you go. Netsky takes P1. I believe it's Kazakhs in P2. And Hindle took P3 after penalties to Carwin Rob. But this was a mix of F1 and F2 drivers, so not a guaranteed list. Some drivers angry at their silly mistakes, but this is the time you make mistakes. So here we have it then. Your final standings. Netsky takes first. Kazakhs in second. Hindle takes third. CSGB Rainman all the way up to fourth after penalties from Carwin Robb. In between them two is James Dovey. Pro Mayhem takes seventh. Eighth for Boas on the alternate strategy. So that worked well for him. Yolo takes ninth. Noah P10. Bradley all the way up from 15th to 11th on the alternative strategy. Jay Prentice keeps 12th position after his starting place on the grid. JD takes 13th. McGamer on 14th. 15th for Adam Eklund, obviously retiring, and so was Arbuck. So that is your final standings for the final pre-season race. It's been a pleasure commentating as usual, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday for round 1 around Bahrain Short.